First and foremost, we want to thank each one of you for taking the time to meet with us and listen to our new product research for Poland. My name is Grant Salinas, and I will be presenting this research on behalf of my team, which consists of myself, Eliard Silva, Aurelio Rubio, Isaac Despain, and Lindsay Lewis. Without further ado, let's jump right in. The Hofstede Culture Dimension Analysis tool is an excellent way to analyze the workplace in different cultures. Today, we'll be comparing Poland's work culture to the United States. Having a high score in both power distance and individualism means that the Poles need some sort of organization and hierarchy. This creates tension in their culture, making relationships very fragile. However, proper organization and leadership can make fruitful relationships. Scoring high in the masculinity category shows motivation from competition. Employees in Poland prefer to have a list of things to do or rules. We believe that this could become a problem in a Polish environment where the standard is to have your tasks lined out by management because it could limit creative freedoms to be expressed that might improve our business. Long-term orientation is another fairly important category in the study. Poland, scoring low on this scale, exhibits a normative society and maintains the long-lasting traditions, but prefers to live in the now instead of preparing for tomorrow. This could pose a threat to foreshadowing potential weaknesses in the business. They do, however, show promising results in the indulgence category. This means that they can exercise restraint when needed in order to be efficient in their tasks. Looking at these results together, we can see that Poland has great opportunities to introduce an American business while still respecting native cultures. The Poles are implicit communicators initially, and then explicit once a relationship has been established. Established relationships are the key to effective communication with the Poles, and once this has been done, low context communication is used. Relationships are established through credentials, education, and professional rank. Poland's hierarchical society provides direct, negative feedback when you have proven you have a high rank and proper credentials. This communication is clear, direct, and there is no room to misunderstand. The US sends mixed signals through sugarcoating negative feedback, and in many cultures, this can be misinterpreted. The Poles see confrontation as an opportunity to improve the relationship and a way to improve. They do not mean offense. As far as scheduling, the Poles rank in the center. There is a perfect balance of structure and flexibility. The Polish way of negotiation and bargaining is to work together to find a win-win solution that benefits both parties equally instead of strategizing to take advantage of your opponent. In Polish customs, the buyer claims the high seat in the negotiation process. That means that the buyer has more leverage than the seller. Poles place huge value on long-term relationships and will do everything they can to maintain that while negotiating. Generally, Poles are quite calm-tempered, especially in a business environment. However, our teams need to understand that they are also very competitive, so we need to bring our A game if we want to stand a chance. The key is to stay calm during the more heated portions of the meetings because it is all with good intentions. There is no need to get offended or offensive. Be tough, be fair, work together, and everything will turn out just fine. Poland has a unitary semi-presidential system with a head of state and a head of government appointed by the head of state. The parliament is bicameral with Senate, the upper house, and the Sejm, the lower house. Politically speaking, Poland enjoys a politically stable environment that is favorable to do business. The Economic Freedom Index, or EFI, is a yearly index that ranks countries in several categories to determine their economic freedom. There are 4 main categories, and each one has 3 subcategories, with a total of 12 subcategories for the entire index. Under the rule of law category, we find property rights, judicial effectiveness, and government integrity. The government size category ranks tax burden, government spending, and fiscal health. Under regulatory efficiency, we find business freedom, labor freedom, and monetary freedom. And in the open markets category, we find trade freedom, investment freedom, and financial freedom. Here we have a table of Poland's Economic Freedom Index scores versus the world average. We can see that Poland is above average in property rights, government integrity, fiscal health, labor freedom, monetary freedom, trade freedom, investment freedom, and financial freedom. Poland has an EFI score of 69.1, ranking it in 46th place in the global EFI ranking system and awarding Poland moderately free status. Poland is under 637 EU mandated non-tariff measures that are currently in force. Therefore, foreign and domestic investments are treated as equal. Poland excels in the fiscal health category, awarding it a 92.2, which is 23.1 points above the global average. All taxes combined equal 33.9% of the total domestic income. Government spending is 41.3% of Poland's total GDP. The Polish economy is considered a high-income economy with a debt per capita of $7,241 in 2019. That's $73,889 less than the USA. Poland is well above average in monetary trade, investment, and financial freedom with an exceptional fiscal health score on top of that. This suggests that Poles and their businesses have a good sense of freedom, and it seems to be working to their advantage. Generally, business transactions and interactions should be relatively smooth. Poland has a high-income economy whose citizens strive for fairness and equality. There are many social standards that we have in common with Poland, like honesty and integrity. It's important to honor titles and seniority and to avoid speaking out of place. Our teams must come prepared with solid facts and figures to support their claims. This is very important when doing business with Poles because they're very data-driven. Poland ranks low for regulatory environment. Poland is one of the most expensive countries to start up a business because of the percent of income per capita, high tax contribution rate, and the amount of time required to prepare, file, and pay taxes, and long average time to resolve contract disputes. Poland has been a member of the World Trade Organization since July 1st, 1995, which means concessions, privileges, or immunities granted to one nation will have to be imposed upon all other World Trade Organization members who trade within the organization. Both the US and Poland are members of the WTO. This makes it harder to be discriminated against with different tariffs and restrictions. The last registered average tariff for imports was 1.69% in 2018. Poland's top imports are machinery, electrical components, vehicles, and crude oil, which have a low import tariff between 1.7% and a high of 15%. The products with the highest tariffs are animal products, food items, animal and vegetable byproducts, and vegetable products. For these products, Poland uses special tariffs with developing countries, which is allowed by the WTO for developing countries only. On May 1st, 2004, Poland became a member of the EU Customs Union, and as such applies the same duty rates as all other EU members. Poland doesn't share a special trading agreement with the US. The Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership was in the works, but is currently suspended. Nonetheless, Poland shares several FTAs with diverse countries that make them a good importer and exporter of products and services in Western and Eastern Europe. Imports to Poland have increased over the years. There was a slight decrease this year due to the pandemic. Poland has several factors that make it an attractive market in Europe. To name a few, location, a large population, a stable economy, EU membership, a favorable fiscal system, and skilled cheap labor. In order to attract investments to the country, the government created the Special Economic Zones, or SEZ, offering a tax reduction for companies interested in investing in those country regions. Nonetheless, all the attracting factors, Poland also has some restrictions to foreign ownership in sectors such as aviation, gas, power generation, broadcasting, and real estate. Both a growing economy, there are plenty of opportunities on other sectors that will satisfy investors' appetites. Poland has had an increasing GDP per capita for more than 5 years in a row. This means that people are integrating state-of-the-art technology to improve production capacity. The consumer inflation rate has been rising steadily for several years, which shows it is trending in the same direction as global economics. We do need to keep an eye on this, however, to ensure that it doesn't start rising faster than the GDP. Finally, the national lending rate has been 1.5% for over 5 years. This is incredible if we want to lock in loan rates for construction of a new fabrication plant. It also shows promise for obtaining loans in the future to continue growth. The Polish zloty has relatively held its value over the last 5 years. Poland continues to seek economic growth through acquisitions and has maintained a low unemployment rate, which continues to be below the European average. Now it's time to talk about how we plan to capitalize on the growing industry in Poland. We will be presenting 3 different product ideas to introduce to the Polish market. The first product is a food delivery service designed for older generations. The second product is recreational equipment made for the Polish enthusiasts. The third product is a line of luxury suits made in historical Polish fashion. Let's look at each of these items a little bit closer. The first product is for the aging population in Poland, is already one of the biggest age groups, and it will be the biggest one soon. This trend creates specific needs for products and services that are poorly available for this group of customers. Thinking about that, we came up with the idea of creating a subscription-based service to deliver customized, ready-to-eat meals for elderly people. It works like this. Customers subscribe to a meal package and receive a delicious and healthy meal prepared based on specific health and nutritional needs in the convenience of their own homes. This service will remove the hazard of older people cooking, ease the burden on family members, serve a large and underserved market, and offer healthy food to these customers. There is no such service currently available in this market. We can establish a temporary competitive advantage. The second product capitalizes on Poland's recreational activities. Millions of zlotys are spent each year on recreation and culture in Poland. Our products will be unique to recreational activities in Poland. Our products will appeal to locals as well as tourists and generate additional revenue through international online sales. These products will be unique to local styles, trends, and fashions. Not only will we produce products for purchase, but our recreational equipment can be rented from our retail stores. This equipment includes skis, snowboards, snowshoes, and mountaineering equipment. There's not a current local company that offers this kind of variety and selection for outdoor wear and equipment. The third product is a men's suit that is made in Poland with a horsehair and canvas construction in the 600-pound price range. Most manufacturers choose a glued construction over horsehair and canvas because it is cheaper and much easier to manufacture. Horsehair and canvas suits are more breathable, comfortable, and durable. Suits are a huge part of European culture and play a big part in Polish social culture. With people moving to online platforms, we will always be available online to consumers. Unlike many other European countries, there is still a tailoring workforce in Poland that can build suits at a legal wage of 610.79 pounds per month per laborer. This is a great deal in comparison to other European countries. The low cost of labor allows manufacturers to keep the cost of the suit to about 600 pounds. People understand that Polish made means quality. The competition at our price point consists of big brands like Hugo Boss, Tommy Hilfiger, Ralph Lauren, and Brooks Brothers. None of these companies offer a suit with horsehair and canvas construction at the 600-pound price point. This is an untapped market. We appreciate you listening to our presentation on these products. We hope that we can come to an agreement on which ones we can introduce to the Polish market. Are there any questions that I can begin answering?